And we're back with some more Satisfactory. And today is going to be all about knocking out Tier 3 and 4. Now, in the background there, I did a few minor changes. Namely, everyone was telling me, sort out Caterium, the gold stuff. Yeah, sort out that whole gold tech tree. So I tapped into a Caterium? Whatever. I tapped into a node over there and I knocked out most of the research in this tree, which has given us Blade Runners, which, well, they're basically fancy boots that allow us to jump higher and further, and the Zipline, which allows us to use power wires as well, ziplines. This has been very handy. Oh, and one last tip was take the excess of the Caterium, turn it into wire, and dump it into the Awesome Sink, which gives us a whole bunch of coupons. I think we'll put those coupons right there. And once you have those coupons, you can use them and spend them on stuff. But first, let's go over my little I was trying to figure out what was the difference between this game and Factorio, and it kind of presented itself to me eventually. This mine here, for example, produces 120 ore per minute. But that led to a bit of a problem because these miners, or their smelters, they consume 45 ore per minute. So what happens is, if you leave this on 100%, it's going to be consuming more ore than it needs. See, 45 ore per minute. So that means we can't really run 3 of them at full speed. However, if we run them at full speed, it consumes 4 megawatts, which, it's fine. That's what a normal one consumes. But if we underclock it, which is just set the clock speed to lower than it normally runs at, we actually reduce power consumption to 3.3 megawatts, and we've actually controlled the amount of Caterium we're consuming down to 40. Now, you don't always have to underclock these. We'll go over more of that in a bit. What this has taught me is, running at a lower speed, this thing is actually more energy efficient, and because of the way power works, where if you go even slightly above how much power you've got, it just basically redlines your grid and causes you to collapse. I sort of see the point here. They want you to underclock some things and overclock others, which is why this is an algebra game. Anyway, let's go back to the main base and try out one of the new toys. This is the zipline thing. And yeah, this here is up on top of a cliff, and I used to have to run down that whole thing. Oh my god, that was, let's just say it was a little bit disconcerting running down this side of that cliff. I used to get a little bit of vertigo going up and down. So this is actually a welcome change. And yeah, you can just sort of zip line around the place. It's not as fast as you would like, but because you don't have to go running around on the ground, it actually is a little bit quicker, I think, in general. And you don't have to worry about the fall damage nearly so much. And we're almost home. As well as that, while you think it would only work one direction, you can go right back up this zipline if you want. I don't know what way this is set up, but it seems, yeah, this thing can just power you right up one of them. Alright, so back home, let's go check out our resources. Oh look, everything's backed up. Why is that? Well, I basically let this run for several hours in the background while I was doing nothing. You see, we had expanded our coal power plants down here. I actually strung them along a bit, and this gave us more than enough power to run our entire factory without having to worry about putting any biofuel or anything like that. However, this was a bit small, and we needed some expansion room. So if we follow that power line over there, well, ow. Yeah, we'll find where we did a little bit of an expansion. While I would like to zipline along those wires there, they actually pass through a gas zone, and it would poison us. So let's not do that. Let's maybe go around this a bit, and I can show you where those power wires lead. After passing through the gas field down there, these power wires snake their way up the mountain, all the way to go over there. Actually, can we? Yeah, this zip wire does save a little bit of time. Okay, let's speed this along, shall we? This here is 3 pure coal nodes, not too far from our base. Well, okay, they're a little bit far for me to be running massive coal transport belts all the way from here back to our base. But on the bright side, coal doesn't, well, power only needs a power wire. So we can stick down 8 coal generators here, run 1 wire back to our base, and that's all of our power sorted for, well, not for the foreseeable future, but for at least a little while. As well as that, there's 2 more untapped pure coal nodes here, which means we could, add on an extra 16 coal generators, and that's just at this tech level. You gotta remember, once we get Miners Mark II, we can double the amount of coal generators this can support. So this should hopefully sort our power needs for at least a reasonable time into the future, until we get to oil anyway. Alright, let's go down and have a quick look at these. Oop. And yeah. So, I didn't go with anything too fancy here. I did do a little bit of a lookup on coal generators and how to run them. Reason being, well, oh Christ, you need like 1 of these water pumps per 3 coal generators. Unfortunately, the amount of water these generate can't all be carried by a single pipe or something along those lines. It gets complicated. So it turns out a simple thing to do if you're, don't want to do anything too complicated is just hook up the water to 2 of them and then underclock the machine. It turns out you can underclock this down to 75%, and this will produce exactly enough water to feed these two coal generators. And you're not wasting any power. Now, which is important because if this thing does hit its, or if the consumption goes above the production, then what will happen is, well, the whole thing will trip off, and then you'll have to figure out what's going on. So I think the big balancing act here is trying to balance power consumption with power production without anything going offline. And this here should run forever. I let this run for several hours in the background just to see, and no problems at all. We haven't had to worry about refilling our biomass anywhere. All right. With all that done, let's go have a quick look at the tickets back home. The Awesome Shop. Now, this is to do with those tickets. You get the tickets by, well, scrapping materials, and they give you tickets to buy things with. In fact, there is other ways to get them. One is, there's currently a Christmas event on right now, and here is the calendar. What are we up to? You can see the numbers here. There's the 8th, and there's the 9th. Where was the 10th? Did we get the 10th yet? Yep, there it is. There's the 10th right there, and I think the 11th is, yes, this one. Let's see what prezzies they got for us today. Oh, it's literally, yeah, okay, a skin. Excellent. I'll figure out what to do with that later. But yeah, there's the 11th. There's a whole bunch you can open, and we actually got about 25 tickets out of that as well, which is good considering how low level we are. We can at least go buy ourselves some nice things out of the ticket vending machine. Ah, there we are. 25 tickets. Nice. So that gives us 56 we can spend in the Awesome Shop. Oh, one thing. Do not buy parts. This is like a little trap thing. You can buy wire and AI limiters and stuff like this by spending tickets. No one does that as far as I can tell. Like, who spends these tickets to get ammo? Considering how expensive they are, and the cost of tickets goes up. Every time you put stuff into the Awesome Shop or the Awesome Construction thingy... Oh, damn it. I need to know the name of it now. Ah, the Awesome Sink. Anytime you put stuff into the Awesome Sink, the next ticket becomes even more expensive, meaning you need more and more stuff to put in there, or more expensive and more complicated things. Now, from what I can recall, the things that were recommended to me were buy the factory ladder immediately. Yeah, it can be extended while building, snap to walls and foundations. This is supposedly really useful, so I think we're going to take that. You know what? Stairs look pretty handy as well. We'll take those too. We'll add those to the list. Walls-wise, I don't think we care. There's something to do with foundations. Ah, yes, the double ramp pack. That supposedly is very good. We'll take that as well, and we'll figure out the rest later on. Anyone got any suggestions? Let me know. With all of that taken care of, it's time to, well, expand the factory. I mean, our diminutive little factory here is not really that great. However, before we get on with that, I just want to go over one of the perks of the smart mod I'm running. I know there's some people who are saying we should just use the basic one that's now built in with the functionality. I can't remember, zooping, I think it's called. But zooping, I'm not sure if it's as good as this, where it allows you to just mass spam an entire area with foundations for just huge distances. It also allows you to do this with machines, and there's a whole load of other built-in functionality that you can use this for that I'm, well, not going to need just yet, but we'll worry about that at a later date. For now, what we got to worry about is, well, hard drives. You see, I've been advised that there's hard drives out there that give you alternative recipes. For example, you don't need to specifically use one iron rod to make 4 screws. And you don't have to do them in certain batches and speeds. There's actually an alternative recipe out there that allows you to put in a steel beam and get it 120 screws per minute or something like that. There's some really good alternative recipes. However, I need to do a whole bunch of research on that. But what it has taught me is we do not want to go up to the next tier of technology just yet. If we check in here, the next tier of technology requires all of these things, and that takes us up to unlocks tier 5 and 6. We won't unlock them at the end of this episode because I'm going to have to do a hard drive search between this episode and the next. But the plan will be to max out tiers 3 and 4, and then after I've maxed out tier 3s and 4 this episode, we're going to go and hunt down some hard drives. If anyone has any suggestions for recipes I should definitely keep an eye out for, let me know. But for now, stop following me. I managed to tame one of the doggos. It went well this time. I just dropped berries on the ground. For now, I think it's time we make it ourselves modular frames. So let's stick on modular frames right here. When it comes to making modular frames, the first thing we're going to want to do is see what it actually takes to build them. And then it's going to take 3 reinforced iron plate per minute, 12 iron rods per minute, and 2 modular... That'll give us 2 modular frames per minute. And then we're going to want to get a calculator and do all this research. No. That's like way too much effort. Instead, what we do is we go to the Satisfactory calculator and we stick in 2 modular frames, which requires, of course, 1 assembly machine. And it tells us we'll need this 1 assembly machine to produce them, but then it gives us all the subcomponents we need, and it even tells us how much we have to underclock them or overclock them. It's just handy. So, simplest way to think of this is we're going to need 2 smelters. Now, I'm going to make a minor change here, but otherwise I'm just going to build it like it tells me. It's just far simpler. Yeah, I'm quite okay with that, to be honest. It tells one smelter at 90, one at 80, or one at 70. So I figure we'll just set them both to 80%. It gives us the same output, and then we'll merge both outputs before splitting them up into these machines. Then you just have two constructors making iron rods at different percentages, one making iron plate, and they feed into the assembly machines all the way along. Or, here is the start of one I made earlier. There's the two smelters. They feed into one merger, which then divides them up in three between all of those machines. And they're the three machines that they asked us to do. Then there's, well, you know what? Let's go down and have a quick look. And here we've got ourselves the iron plate, and it's already been underclocked. Here we've got the iron rods, and finally over here we've got the other iron rods for the basic levels. And then over here we have, I think this is the screws. Yeah, this is the screws. Then all we want to do is hook these two sections up here. 1 second, and there we go. Iron plate coming in from there, screws coming in from there. Both of them plug into the assembler here, and they get us that reinforced iron plate, and it's underclocked to 60%, which means we'll get 3 reinforced iron plate, just like the calculator thing you said we should. Then over here we'll put down our modular frame assembly, which requires 3 reinforced iron plate and 12 iron rods. Simple enough. We just grab that from over there. Oh yeah, I know these are definitely not at 90-degree angles. These are going to drive some people crazy, and go from there to... Come on, there. Done. That should give us our modular frames. Now, I'm just going to stick a storage box on the end here for these, and then I'll show you how we hook it all up. For hooking up the resources to the smelters, all we've done is actually, it's very, very simple. Mark II belt comes in here into this splitter. Come on. And then it basically sends half the resources this direction and the other half straight on. And these things will eventually fill up, and it will just be the majority of the resources will be going on. This way we can run 3 smelters in a row, and oh my god, I left a giant hole in that concrete. I should go fix that in a minute. Anyway, that is that will at least get this started. Now, one thing I'm going to change here is I've set these both to 80% to start, but I'm going to crank it up to 100 just so that it saturates the whole line faster. Because as it is, if we just leave it at 80, it'll take a while before it stabilizes out. I'd like to maybe crank that up just a little bit quicker. And then once it is, we'll go and have a look at the end and see how well it's doing. And that is the finished product. We basically took the diagram off the website and just turned it into this. We've got our 2 furnaces over there. I've underclocked them again back to, what was it, 80% a piece. They split into this and provided 3 machines, which provides into these 2 here, which eventually feeds on to the end. And if we actually check on, I mean, honestly, going through the numbers in these is not really worth the effort. You just go through the website, figure out what you need, and you get it done. This is, as you can see, backed up. It's got the exact amount of resources it needs. It actually hasn't really changed much. And over here, you'll see this is running flat out all the time. In fact, that should hit, I think, 5 reinforced plate. Where is it? Yeah, there's the 5th reinforced plate. It'll hit the 5th reinforced plate before it finishes its modular frame. And then every time it's just about to finish, it will be at 5 reinforced plate. So this should keep going forever. Now, is it perfect? No. Let's go back to the... our MAM for a minute. Wait, it's the hub, not the MAM. Damn it. Okay, we'll go back to the hub. Back at the hub here, we can look under things we want, and the main thing we want is steel. Getting steel production will give us access to steel beams, pipes, which is sort of stuff we want because we need that for getting some of the later stuff like Logistics Mark III, which requires steel pipes and steel beams, and gives us access to Conveyor Belt Mark IIIs, which are twice as fast as our current ones, I believe, or pretty close. And advanced steel production, which gives us encased steel beams, modular frames. All of these things, we would like these all accessible before we start hacking into the hard drives, because once we start getting the hard drives, what we have available to us will determine what recipes we can potentially unlock. So, I'm thinking next up, actually, I think I'm going to go on a bit of a hunt. The reason being, we need 50 of those modular frames. That's going to take about 25 minutes. Let's see if we can't find a hard drive or 2 nearby. This crash site is actually right next door to where we... Oh, I left those behind. This is right next door to our starting base, so we should have opened this ages ago, and all it required was a modular frame, which I think we picked up a few elsewhere. Hey, come on, just open. There we go. And that gives us a hard drive, which we can go analyze. Should we analyze it now? Nah, let's do some more hunting. Just below our base, there is another one of these things. Last time I went through, I had to kill that really annoying spitter thing. Why can't we open this? Battery broken, needs 10 megawatts. Oh, god damn it. Fine. We'll get you a battery? I think we can just plug this thing into a power wire, which... Alright, let's get out of here, shall we? I've built a power wire up that direction. Hopefully we can... Yep. Let's see if we can get up here and hook it into our power grid system. Yoink. I am so glad we waited until we had some of this extra equipment before we started doing this stuff. You hook up to there. And I think That should be it. Perfect. Let's go back down. Can you open now? Yes, you can. Okay, okay. So we could have just hooked up a bio burner either. Another hard drive. Nice. That's 2 already. Let's keep hunting. While out and about on our journey, look at that. There is a slug over there and over there. Let's go grab ourselves some slugs. Oh, I hate swimming in this. Swimming is just so slow. The best thing I've found for swimming is just to keep hopping, and you can actually get a little bit of extra speed if you keep hopping. Yeah, there's a biggie here. Nope, never mind. We're just gonna right the hell out of that one. And I think we're gonna shoot it from a distance. Hey buddy, how you doing? Yeah, I hope you can't climb so good. I'm just gonna shoot you from a distance and oh. Ow. That did not see that coming, not gonna lie. Okay, I'll just reload. And can you get down out of there anytime soon? Okay, you can get down, Can you swim? I don't think you can swim, can you, buddy? Oh, wow, he can swim. Okay. That was a terrible shot on my part. Come on. Seriously? Just die already, would you? Right, I can see why the exploration part of this is so much fun. So, is that meant to be that way? Or is that some sort of graphical glitch? It looks like someone just was doing some woodworking and then it got entombed in a mountain. Interesting. Alright, let's just get back to work then, shall we? So, way, way, way high up on the top of the map, there's actually there's another crash site up here. In fact, I have found a map online, so I'm just going to start using those to find them, because this one was, this one was fun. I was just trying to get up to a really high height, and there was this up here, which is quite nice, though I think I probably shouldn't be here this early, namely because there's no way of opening this thing. It wants, like, 30 motors. I can't even make motors yet. The only reason I have those motors is because I found them at another crash site. But, you know, nice to know it's here. We can zipline our way back up here if we ever need to come here again. Wait a minute. I recognize this one.
I strongly advise you to harvest this specimen.
What the? Wait. Can't you see I was in the middle of something?
Harvest. Relaying message. Hello, this is Paternal Figure. I have taken ill and need your help to find a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts. Comply. Breaking news from Earth. Widespread chaos and mayhem. World President urges all citizens to do their part and harvest alien artifacts. I strongly advise you to harvest this specimen. Your contract legally compels you to harvest this artifact. Harvest. You are so lucky that you found this most valuable artifact. Picking up multiple Fix-It personnel in the area. Proceed with harvest before it's too late. Comply.
Alright, so is this a known thing? Yeah, this has got to be known, but you can bounce around on these things. I did not know that. Alright, I'm going to have to spend the next 5 minutes bouncing on top of one of these. I'll be back in a little while. I have heard some people say they would prefer if this map had a randomly generated option to it so that you could have some random generation, but I liked that they sort of handcrafted the whole thing and you just find these crazy places, like you end up in caves or just random things that they decided were interesting, and I don't know, it makes the map more personable. It does reduce replayability, but it definitely does make the game have a far better impression first time you play it. Anyway, what have we got in this Prezi over here? Well, I shouldn't say Prezi, someone died to bring us this Prezi. And it would be another hard drive. What are we up to, 4? Let me raid the rest of this area. I think we're going to head back and knock out another objective back home. I've done enough exploring for at least for a few hours. My God, there is so many things to kill on this map.
Research.
Huh.
A new research tree can
I was
now be
wondering about
accessed in the
mycelia.
mound.
It's available in caves. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be spiders in here, though, so let's proceed with caution. Oh, yeah, plenty of this stuff. We're going to need that for the research tree, so more exploration is required, and then we'll just run away when the spiders show up, depending on how difficult they are to kill. Oh, and great, there's birds in here, too. Okay, let's proceed with caution. All right, that looks like a spider. That
Your
was much
contract
easier than I was
completes
expecting.
allows you to harvest this artifact.
Also kind of creepy. Not gonna lie. Spiders. Okay, fine. So now we got spider enemies down here. Let's go have a word with this... oh, crap. So far, they're annoying, but they don't seem that bad. Famous last words, I know. Okay. Anyone else want to go? Oop, there's one over there. I can see it. Damn it. Forgot to reload after last time. Okay, one hit kills them. Why is there do I have a strange feeling there's an alpha around here somewhere that's just waiting to jump out and eat me?
Breaking news from Earth. Widespread chaos and mayhem. World President urges all citizens to do their part and harvest alien artifacts.
Yep. Way ahead of you, buddy. Way ahead of you. Alright, let's get out of this cave system. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Alright, this place is bigger than I was expecting. I think I'm just going to go back the way I came, and oh my god, what happened to you? Okay, you don't seem friendly at all. Ooh. Right, yeah, I'm just going to go back the way I came. I don't want to deal with any more of those. Oh wow, it is nice to get out of those caves. They've got that weird sort of low-pitched hum going on back there, and it grates on your nerves after a while. It's one of the tricks horror movies do. Once you're in those caves for a while, you just your nerves are on edge. You can't help it. Good planning on their part. After all of our treks, we've managed to get our hands on 5 hard drives, so we'll keep those in storage till next episode. We picked up 2 artifacts, which, don't give us anything. 25 alien carcasses, 31 alien organs, 400 of the mycelia stuff, whole bunch of barrel nuts, some pale berries, a bunch of bacon, computers, which we can't build still. We've got a bunch of those out now for some reason. 9 AI limiters, 11 circuit boards, which we can't build either. 12 motors, which we can't build. 10 blue slugs, 2 yellow slugs. And a whole bunch of heavy modular frames and 34 encased industrial units. Yeah, good day. Let's go with, what was it? Under alien organisms, there was the medicinal inhaler. About time I did some research on that one. Yeah, just because it would be nice to have some healing that didn't revolve around plants. With the research complete, it turns out we can make a medicinal inhaler using 3 alien organs and 5 mycelia. Yes? So we get to turn alien organs into medicine. Ah yes, the people we kill heal us. That's just... It's the circle of life. We can now research this mycelia thing. 3 seconds of pointlessness, but it should give us something else. Fabric. Okay, yeah, that we can make in a bit. And the other one is medical properties. Oh wait, I got a bunch of those in storage. First up, medical. That's always nice. Let's see what else you give us. Hopefully it's an alternative recipe for... Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Alternative recipe for the medicinal inhaler. I'm interested to see what that one is, actually. I assume it's made out of plants as opposed to the animals one. And what does this one get us? Fabric, which... Bandages? Parachute. Okay, even more interesting. Oh, excellent. That'll be great for getting back off cliffs once I've gotten up them. Oh, and one last thing. We'll get rid of the purple power shards. What does that actually... Oh, that means we can now turn those slugs into purple. Well, we don't have any of those left. I just burned them on the research. There's a few things I do have left to do. Like, I want to get my hands on the rifle. I would also like the jump jet pack, though I'm not sure where it is. I presume it's further down sulfur? Though it could be under oil once we get to oil. No, not going to worry about it for now. For now, we have lots of things to be doing. Namely, we want to get this next milestone knocked out. What are we missing from this? We just need 75 rotors and 25 modular frames. Easy peasy, we've got them all on the bus. There we go. Basic steel production finished. And if we check... I think there's a few more. Like, we can knock out vehicular transport as well. Oh, and that gives us additional infantry slots. Damn it, I should have this one at the same time. So it turns out the nutritional inhaler just requires, well, one of all of the plant-type things and some of that mycelia stuff. So mycelia seems to be the big linchpin limiter on that thing. But I'm thinking, yeah, that's going to become our go-to from now on for healing. With all of that unlocking done, it's time to start producing the next parts of this system, which would be the steel beams, 15 per minute. We just want to have one assembler working full time. and 20 steel pipe per minute. That should be fine. So, planning this out, we're going to not take out a calculator and instead use the regular Satisfactory calculator. Not going to use an actual calculator. That would be silly. Not that I didn't at the start, just a little bit. But then I found this and it makes things much simpler. Anyway, for 20 steel pipe and 15 steel beam, this actually turns out to be incredibly simple. You just need 2 foundries working at 100%. Foundries are basically your newer smelters. They take coal along with the iron to make the steel. You have to make... Never mind, we're not going to get into the details. It just means that we need 2 inputs on these, and they're going to require 75% of a full coal miner and 75% of a full regular miner. Both of them will function perfectly, and then we can max produce steel pipe and steel beam. Should be fairly straightforward. In fact, here's one we made earlier. Well, one we made in between cuts. There's the 2 furnaces. We'll go down and have a look at them in a minute. They're combining coal and iron to make the steel ingots. The steel ingots then go in there and get turned into, well, steel bars? Or actually, no. Those ones get turned into steel, whatever you may call it, and those get into steel pipes. This was actually super simple. Considering how much further down the tech tree it is, it seems... well, it's even easier than those ones we did over there. Like, look at all the random machines we've got going to produce this one. This one was just very, very straightforward. Anyway, that gives us a whole bunch of resources over here. Actually, do we have... That's going up pretty fast. I think it's time we knocked out just a couple of more tech. But before we do that, there is the problem with coal. We needed 75% of a full belt of coal. And I mean a layer 2 belt. This is M2 belt that does 120. So, well, this was one of the reasons. Planning ahead for this was one of the reasons we moved our coal production or our power production somewhere else. Because this is coming all the way from down... Oh, God. Yeah. It keeps going all the way that way until we get to our power plants. Where are we? Oh, yeah, somewhere down here. Ow. Ow. Okay. There we go. So we disconnected the power plants and we hooked them up to the coal, which is way over there. Now, this is, I know, in terms of this map, it's actually relatively small scale, but I'd prefer not to be running belts this far unless we've got trains. I'd prefer to get trains, basically. I want to train as much resources as possible to our central base, as opposed to running massive transport belts like this. I cannot imagine transport belts like this are any good for this game. Nope, damn it. Come on, seriously? Yay, there we go. I give up. I'll just go up my normal way. With all of that resources being produced, it actually is pretty simple for us to knock out a few techs here. For example, vehicular transport, we did the modular frames ages ago. We already did the rotors ages ago. We've had that wire stuff for God knows how long, and the bars for God knows how long. Now, someone was telling me you could queue up 2 at a time, but I don't know if you can. So let's go, if we go tier 4... Oh, wait. We can? So we can select a second milestone. Yep. Perfect, but no, we're not launching. Gonna select a third milestone. So this theoretically means we should just be able to do all 3 at once. Is there any other milestones we can get? Oh, we can't get in case steel. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. We'll just go to active milestones. That should knock out all 3 at the same time.
Milestone reached. Logistics can be improved with a larger storage container
Or...
and enhanced conveyor belt
No.
efficiency.
What the hell happened there? I know you did the third one? Oh, god damn it. Wait, no. We still getting the option to launch the pod. Okay.
Milestone reached. Long-range transportation,
Advanced
as well
steel?
as the construction of outposts, is now encouraged.
Oh.
Vehicle stations have built-in functionality to refuel and restock or...
I had no idea you could do that. So we've just basically completed 3 techs without having to wait for the pod to come back every time.
Milestone reached. Logistics can be improved with a larger
Perfect.
storage container, enhanced conveyor belt efficiency, as well as the ability
And that
to
also
store
increases
excess
our
power for later use.
belt size. Okay, so the only thing left is
An additional
hypertubes.
project part can now
Not
be
really a big deal.
constructed.
Looking through what those upgrades unlocked, we get conveyor belts Mark III. They're just made using these steel plates, these things here, which we're producing at 15 per minute, which is amazing actually, because the previous Mark I belts, or the Mark II belts, they required the, whatever, that reinforced iron plate or whatever the hell it was, which we were only producing at about 5 per minute. So this means we can produce conveyor belt Mark III faster than we can produce conveyor belt Mark II. Okay, fine. Conveyor lifts, of course, and the rest has all remained the same. Power-wise, the only thing new is this power storage, which appears to be some sort of... Okay, battery type grid thing. I'm going to have to play around with those later. Production-wise, nothing. Okay, and special-wise, nothing. But let's see what special things, or what new things we can construct now. Looking at all the machines we have access to, the only one that got some new recipes was this one. We now get encased steel beam, which I don't think we actually need that for anything just yet, bar knocking out one goal. Satyrs, which are then put into motors. The motors we don't really need for anything. I think we need those for vehicles. We'll worry about that in a minute. Then we got versatile framework and automated wiring, which are needed for the skyhook thing. The space elevator. Damn it. Brain work. So, it seems fairly straightforward. But we don't really need to rush. I'd prefer to go and hammer out some more hard drives. We need lots more hard drives. We've only got a few. The plan's going to be, long-term, Awesome Sync. Now, the Awesome Sync just, consumes items and gives you points. Tickets. And those tickets you can use to buy stuff. It's basically the massive resource sink, in the same way that in Factorio you have a rocket silo that you dump resources into to spend your resources. In this, though, the higher the tech level the item you produce, the more points you get for it. How is it explained to me? Just say you took all your materials and turned them into a Tech 2 item, and then you took those exact same items and turned them into a Tier 3 item. The Tier 3 item would be worth twice as much, and then the same again to Tier 4, Tier 5, etc. So what we want to do is make the highest tier item possible and dump it into this. Looking at their wiki, thermal propulsion rockets, they're a Tier 7 tech, Tier 8 tech, and each one is worth 732,956 points inside the Awesome Sync, which is a lot of points. Currently, we're only generating 2,000 per minute. So I figure we set up a base that produces about 10 thermal propulsion rockets per minute, and that should net us lots and lots of points, more than enough to knock out all of the things. That seems like a reasonable thing. So any of the hard drives I get, the plan will be to look for recipes that would improve our ability to produce those thermal propulsion rockets and make it easier or cheaper to do so. Our short-term goals: find a whole bunch of hard drives, crack them open, see if we can't find some good recipes. Now, I know there's when it comes to cracking open the hard drives and getting recipes out of them, you can reload the game and go back and try again and again and again. No, we're going to get what we're going to get. We're not going to be doing any reloading or any faffing about with the numbers. We're going to work with what we get and see what happens. Oh, and there's also a rifle we can research. Here we are. Rifle. Unfortunately, the rifle requires circuit boards, and it also requires rubber, which both require Tier 5 tech, so we won't be able to use that anytime soon, unfortunately. Well, not until we finish with some of the hard drives, which means we're just going to be killing all the bugs. Good old-fashioned sword swipes. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed our little experiments today, and good luck.